Alright, let's try this again, shall we? So I put up a video on this game a while ago and got a decent reception from it. Unfortunately, I then lost everything and also lost motivation to do it. Fuck it, let's do it again. So the really long-winded setting the scene thing I did in the first episode, I'll lay it out super quick, and then we're going to start off with the first Raw. All the people that have been released have been David Otunga, Epico, Jeremy Borash, No Way Jose, Primo, the Singh Brothers, and Scott Stanford. Everyone else pretty much staying where they are. I've sent a few to NXT, and I've called a few up from NXT just to mix things up a bit. So the people I've sent to NXT has been, well, Apollo Crews is the only one going NXT just to be on NXT. The other three I've sent down as trainers to train the others. So Eric Young, Mickey James, and Shelton Benjamin have all gone to NXT to train the new recruits, basically. And I've called up three people from NXT and NXT UK, and that's Finn Balor, Killian Dane, and Io Shirai. More on that in this episode of Raw. But to set the scene, the news reports before this episode of Raw, Vince McMahon has retired indefinitely. And that's a crying shame. Probably to go focus on the XFL or something. I don't give a fuck. But we're going to be playing as Triple H. Triple H has a very big announcement to open up this Monday night's Raw, which is where we're starting. And the Monday Night Raw that we are starting on is the first Monday night after the Royal Rumble. Okay, everyone's got their titles as of the Rumble, apart from Goldberg. Goldberg has the Universal because I've messed this up a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to challenge myself to fix the Goldberg mess that they did, which I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do, but I have a good idea for it. But we'll see. Anyway, this is the Raw after the Royal Rumble.
I am a man at war, and I am fighting for all of the broken people, all of the people thrown overboard. They always try to shame us, but they don't speak the language. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness.
So we kick off the Monday Night Raw with a few pre-show matches. So these matches happen before Raw goes live. It's just a chance for us to see people that, well, I use them as a way of seeing the people on the fringes of you wanting them to use them proper. And you usually put them in with someone better. So you put a mid-carder with a main eventer that just doesn't have to be on that show, and then that picks the lower one up, but also see if they can hang, and then you see how they get on the show. So to start with, we have Flair versus Peyton Royce. I really like Peyton Royce, and I think she'll be really, really good. Not quite yet, and that shows here. You can see she got a C-, whereas Flair got a B+. Had to give Flair the win here. Couldn't realistically have Royce go over Flair, especially at a dark match. But C- is a decent starting point, I think, so we'll see how that gets on. That's then followed by pure ex-NXT talent. We have Aleister Black versus EC3 versus Ricochet. Now, this was mainly to see how Black and EC3 would get on, because EC3's quality, but he's just been used really flipping poorly on WWE TV. Black is also quality, and he's actually gone over in this match, and you'll see why in a little bit. But everyone was around about the same sort of thing, which is good, because we want EC3 to be able to hang with the rest of them, and that's exactly what he seems to be doing on this dark match. The last dark match, we brought in the big guns, John Cena versus Buddy Murphy, because I think Buddy Murphy is amazing. He looks amazing, he wrestles amazing, and he talks amazing as well when we saw him in the Cruiserweight division. So I want to push him. He's with the OAP and Rollins at the minute. Whether or not he stays there, we'll have to see. But Either way, John Cena put in an A-grade performance on a dark match, which is really nice of him. Thank you, John. Now we get into the main show. So we have Triple H come out. That's a good result for an opening promo as well. So Triple H comes out and announces that the rumors are true. Mr. McMahon has retired with immediate effect. And the big announcement that he is bringing is that not only is Mr. McMahon leaving, but Triple H is taking over all runnings of the WWE. He says that Shawn Michaels has taken over majority control of NXT, so that's in good hands, and he'll still have his hand in NXT as and when. However, he'll be focusing on Raw and SmackDown. Due to him still having a hand in NXT, it's quite a big workload, so he says he will be hiring the general managers in the coming weeks of Raw and SmackDown. Who's it gonna be? We move on to the first match of the night, which is I put down, and I know I said I just sent Shelton Benjamin to NXT to train others. He is immediately after this match, I promise. I'm not going back on my word. However, I saw this as a really good passing the torch sort of match, so having the new generation and against, you know, people from like back in the day. I mean, Shawn Michaels and Shelton Benjamin had that match where Benjamin took the world's sickest sweet-chin music. You know, he's getting on a bit now, hence he's going to go and train. So I thought it'd be a nice passing the torch over for Andrade. Apparently Andrade and Shelton Benjamin don't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout, so that's good. They never have to wrestle again, so I don't have to worry about that. But it was for the United States Championship. I thought it was a good way of kicking off the new era, have a passing of the torch match with a title on the line, and Andrade retains. It says here he won with a split-legged corkscrew senton after a distraction from Zelina Vega, so it wasn't clean, but a decent start overall. So after this match, we have Aleister Black. This is why I said, wait for it. So Zelina Vega grabs the mic after Andrade dispatches Benjamin and says that Andrade is untouchable. No one can touch him. No one has even come close to touching him. He is the next generation of superstar. And then the lights go out. The lights come back up, and Aleister Black is sat in the middle of the ring, cross-legged, staring through Andrade. Lights go down, lights go back up, Black is gone. Clear message. I want to bring this back, the Andrade versus Black storyline from NXT, because, I mean, it makes sense. No one can touch Andrade. Well, Black did. Black won the title from him. So why not do it with higher stakes on the main roster with the United States Championship on the line? He's done it before, why can't he do it again? And that should, I think that'll be the first person we've seen so far actually instill some shit into Andrade, is someone that beat him clean. After that, we have the Usos come out, and they have returned to Monday Night Raw, and they demand that they have a tag title match, because god damn it, they've earned it, because they are the best tag team, arguably the best tag team in WWE. Rollins and Murphy agree, but only if they can beat the OAP first. Just kind of a big ask. OAP have been booked pretty heavy recently. As you can see, they did. See the D pluses for Akam and Rizar. They're doing okay. They're just not. I don't believe in them just yet. In NXT, they were huge, dominant force, but now, not so much. So, in order to keep them kind of strong, but I wanted the Usos to get that title match, we have Buddy Murphy interfere, but mess it up a little bit. I imagined, running the ropes or something, Murphy goes for a knee on one of the Usos and takes out Rizar. Rizar's then rocked. It gets hit with a double super kick from the Usos, which is followed by a double splash, and they get the 3 count and they get their title match with Rollins and Murphy. C+ for the match isn't bad, especially considering you got D+ from Akam and Rizar, so I think the Usos brought that back pretty well. So I can't complain, it's not too bad. And then after, we have Rollins, Murphy and the OAP just destroy the Usos. No table breaking, but just beat them down, and they stand tall in a line in the ring, and they hold the hands up, do all that. And just as they're leaving, or as they're leaving the ring, Rollins berates Murphy, just screams at him, telling him that they have to work as a team, and if you can't work as a team, then you don't have a place in the squad. They are a stable, and if Murphy's going to cause a threat to that, then he's out. Anyway, that beatdown segment got B-, so it's not bad, and specifically the performance of Rollins was good. It says the Usos aren't suited to their gimmicks, but we'll have a look at that at some point. Next, we have Edge and Orton. Now, I've gone a different way than they went in real life. So, I have Edge come back, and obviously it's a huge pop. He was in the Rumble, came back at the Rumble, and we all know about Edge. So, Edge comes back, and he just stands in the ring. And doesn't say anything, because the crowd's too busy doing the "you deserve it" chants and all sorts, and he just kind of stands there and takes it all in. Maybe watery eyes a little bit. Puts the mic up to his mouth, and then you hear Orton's music. Which, I can't think of any other way to go with that. It has to be Orton, really. I mean, who else would it be, apart from maybe Jericho, who's in AEW, and we ain't getting him anytime soon. Orton comes out, and effectively we get the rated RKO storyline again. They just stand opposite the ring, and everyone's like, okay, how's this gonna go? Like, is it gonna go the way it did, where Orton takes him out? I don't want anything said in this segment. I want Orton to come out, I want them to face off, maybe look like they're gonna start each other, and then Orton just holds his hand out to Edge. There's a pause, Edge takes it, they shake hands, and then they leave. Alright, are they back? Then I guess we'll have to see, but the team is back, that's for sure. And an A, just from that performance. I'll take that, that's very good. Now, we have AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. This was another rivalry I really enjoyed. And over at Madison Square Garden, didn't even notice that. Where Owens lost the title, or won the title. Did he win the title? I know it changed hands at Madison Square Garden. Styles versus Owens, just a match at this point, just a scheduled match, and really even. Well, I booked it to be really even. Goes the distance, and Styles comes out on top. But as you can see here, he used the ropes for leverage, used the dirty pin. Styles is still the dirty heel, and wins. Gets the win over Owens and got a strong B, so that's really good. Oh, very nice. So Styles then grabs the mic and says how he's above Owens. He needs to be working with champions, and let's be honest, Kevin Owens doesn't fit that mold. Playing on the whole thing that we saw in Owens' 365 documentary, and just the constant kind of overlying thing that he doesn't look like a champion, he's too overweight, and all that sort of crap that just doesn't matter because Owens is quality. Like, that's going to be the sucker punches that doesn't fit that mold. He's not a champion. He doesn't deserve to be a champion. Styles deserves to be working with champions. You know, he was a WWE champion for God knows how long, United States and all sorts. So he needs better competition. Never mind. Good, beating down Gallows and Anderson, and Owens fights back, stunners Anderson, and pop-up power bombs Gallows, and stands tall. There's Styles into the ring. Styles just walks away. So Owens kind of ends up on top on that. Now the juicy bit: Heyman comes out to the ring alone, just Heyman. I want to do the cheeky pop where they play Lesnar's music and Heyman comes out, which will probably annoy a few people. But Heyman comes out and commends McIntyre for his amazing performance. It was good. He didn't do it fair and square, because let's be honest, Ricochet was involved. But, you know, credit where it's due, he eliminated Lesnar, but he also outlasted the rest of the competition and won. However, he's a brilliant superstar, but he's not the chosen one. He's not gonna be the reigning, defending conqueror, blah blah blah. Out comes McIntyre. Faces up Heyman in the ring. Stands pretty fucking tall over him because he's a big man. He says, well, we'll just have to see when I face Lesnar at WrestleMania. Confirming that McIntyre has chosen Lesnar for his title match. For winning the Rumble. Blah blah blah. And they get into a dispute. Heyman looks all scared because it looks like McIntyre's going to do anything. McIntyre isn't going to do anything because we want to start turning that babyface. He's already pretty much face because he knocked Lesnar out. However, he's still heel on this. So I'm going to just start... You know, if I had to lay out Heyman, that's just a heel thing to do. And we really want the crowd behind McIntyre on this one because we just want that thing of, can McIntyre beat Lesnar? I mean, surely not, but maybe. Anyway, whilst he's doing that, Lesnar comes out, destroys McIntyre and puts him through the Spanish announce desk with an F5. That's not burying McIntyre, because that happens, Lesnar and Heyman go up to the ramp, and McIntyre gets up and gets in the ring and just gestures like he's still here. It's going to take a lot more than that to put him down. And Lesnar looks pissed. Heyman does the thing where he like holds the belt like, and that got a B+. So that was pretty good. Lesnar, McIntyre not so good on the mic apparently, so I reckon that would have been a bit higher, but B+ is pretty solid and I'll take that. Now, next up we have Becky Lynch. Comes to the ring, mic in hand, gets in the ring, and just as she's about to say something, gets interrupted by the Kabuki Warriors. We have Kairi Sane and Asuka come out, and before they can say anything, Lynch is clearly on a mission. She says, I beat you last night, you're not going to beat me again, neither is Kairi. Neither of you. I'm the man. I've already proven myself against you. I don't need to do it again. You can't beat me. Asuka on the ramp, on the stage, has a mic, and she says something along the lines where she does the weird screaming Japanese thing, that whether that's true or not, she knows someone who can. Cue Io Shirai coming up from NXT. And Becky doesn't back down from a fight. She seems more interested than scared. You know, when they call up someone as a surprise and they're like, "Oh my god, I might lose this one." I want to keep Becky calm and collected as she has been for God knows how long. Just be there, but fair enough. That's a challenge. I'll take it. And does she ever? She won. Becky gets the win on this one. It was for the title. I think Becky should defend that pretty much whenever she can, at every opportunity. That not makes sense. Well, it makes sense, but she's not going to back down from a fight. You know, Asuka challenged her, well, I know someone who can beat you, and Becky was like, no, she can't, and she's that confident that she'll put that title on the line. It makes sense. To me, anyway. Becky got a A-rated grade on that. Shirai only C-, so not as good as I wanted, but got a B overall, so I'd say it's pretty decent. So this is followed up by Lynch getting the mic immediately after putting Shirai away, and basically says what she was going to say when she came to the ring the first time, and gets the mic up. She says, I will take on anybody. Charlotte Flair, as you can see, I can defeat anyone on any short notice. Flair comes down to the ring. And they face up. We have that Becky Charlotte thing. So Flair's just won the Rumble. Becky points that out. She says, you couldn't beat me if you tried. Not even with Daddy's help. Flair disagrees. Gets in her face. Really angry. Has that weird like laugh line thing she has where she does that. She says, I could beat you, Becky, on any day of the week. But I'm not picking you. So then we have that oh, okay. So we had the original, oh god, not Becky and Charlotte again. And then, oh, okay. She's not picking her. And whilst we're thinking about that, Shayna Baszler rushes the ring and absolutely destroys Becky. Like, gets her from behind, picks her up, smashes her into ring post, eventually getting her in the clutch and choking her out. And Lynch's last shot we get is Baszler over Becky, unconscious Becky, holding up the Raw Women's Championship. So overall, the show got a B+. I think that was a good way to start. It's got a decent rating enough. There's a few people we didn't get to use on the show. I know people are kind of jumping to and fro, so the Usos were in the show, but they weren't. But obviously they were just in the Elimination Chamber with the SmackDown ones. That you might just have to keep up with, because there's been a few call-ups, and that's made less space on certain brands and move people around. So yeah. So off the bat of that, you have Andrade versus Black potentially happening. The Usos have their title match with Rollins and Murphy, but are in a bad way after getting beaten to heck, and Murphy might be in a little bit of trouble with Rollins, but he definitely got a rollicking from him. Edge and Orton become rated RKO all over again. Styles versus Owens starting to be a little bit tense after Styles just berated him on the mic. However, Owens is outnumbered. You've got the OC and Styles versus Owens and no one, basically. Drew McIntyre looking like an absolute boss after coming out, being put through a table and effectively selling it, but he's still there. He still stood up and got out of it. And then we have the buildings of Lynch versus Baszler, and we still don't know who Flair's going to challenge with their Royal Rumble opportunity, but we know it's not Lynch. It might be Lynch, but she said it's not Lynch. So that leaves Bayley, or potentially NXT Women's Champion. The only problem with that is I'm not controlling NXT, so I can be like, yeah, it's against Rhea Ripley, like they have no life, and then whoever's in the computer in charge of NXT says, yeah, I'm going to put that on Chelsea Green or something. And then I'm kind of screwed, because then I might not have the match I want. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. But that was the first episode of Raw. So just to clear things up, first episode of Raw out of the way. Got a few titles, matches, and storylines to go off just to start with. What I will be doing at the start of every Raw, I'll do the last week in news, because it has a news section. So people can get done for drugs, people can be caught up in scandals, and then so like the Enzo Amore thing, although he was acquitted, that could happen in the game, and they become toxic and you can't use them. Well, you can use them if you want, but you get a bit like attendance numbers go down, etc. So I think I'll pick what I think will probably be the most interesting news stories, and present like a news thing at the start of every Raw. But obviously, game starts on a Monday, so we haven't got any news this week. Alright, that's the first episode of Raw. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon for the first episode of SmackDown.